After having spent a week or so with these gospel stories, I'm going to tell you that I have a different view of them than I used to. The woman with the coins. You know, I used to think every time that money was spoken of in the gospel, I had to think of it in some third world context where everybody was poor and money was scarce. And I mean, I came to the realization that that's a silly viewpoint to have. We've always had rich people and poor people and middle class people. So it's not about the money. And there's something about this story that's personal to Jesus, otherwise he wouldn't share it with us. So, you know, I'm working with it. And I remember that a while back I had the privilege of hearing, in context of this gospel story, that women in the time of Christ would often decorate their wedding veils with coins. Well, at least that's something to go on. Thanks for reminding me of that, Lord. But again, it's not about the money. This is something personal to Jesus. So knowing how we are as human beings and how we like to be so sentimental, especially at important times in life, I thought, you know, with a little theological imagination, maybe you'll go with me on this trip, but what if the coins came from 10 special people in her life? And what if every one of those coins came with a promise and a prayer for some special thing that life is about? Like, honey, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you and your husband that you have a holy and sacred marriage. Honey, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for your children, that God blesses you with a beautiful family, and all of your children throughout their entire days remain happy and healthy. Honey, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for your garden, that God blesses you with such abundance that, first of all, you and your children never go hungry. And even more than that, that you have the chance to share some of what you have with your neighbors and friends. And imagine that this woman takes these coins and often prays with them. God, I thank you for my husband. He's such a good and holy man. He takes such good care of us. God, I thank you for my children. They are such a blessing. They're so funny sometimes, and then they drive me crazy too, but I can't wait to see what you're going to do with their lives. And God, I thank you for all the provisions that you give to us. We have so much, even to the point where we can share with our neighbors and friends. 10 special people, 10 special promises and prayers. Now that's personal. That's personal. It's not about the money. There's more to it to that. And isn't it beautiful to hear that if you can imagine this woman, there is no way she would want to go through life without one of those 10 coins. No way. And that's the same way God feels about us. Not one of us would he want to go through all of eternity without. Isn't it beautiful? That other story that he told about the Good Shepherd, I used to take it on face value. What a beautiful story about a shepherd who's going to take such good care of his sheep. And even to the fact that he's going to throw a party for one of them. And the longer I spent with that story over the last week or so, the more I thought, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. And watch out, Deacon, he's right behind you. I know he's right behind me, but I grew up in rural Wisconsin, near Antigo. I know what farm life is like, and there is no way that any farmer would do this for one of their livestock. If they had a wandering animal, that thing would be gone one way or another. So, again, I'm trying to imagine how this is, because there's something wrong with this story. Something is not right, because the Pharisees were mad when they left. So I'm thinking, what would I do if I was there? And I'd have to say, Rabbi, I don't know what it's like in Nazareth, but there is nobody here in the Jerusalem area that I know of who would treat their livestock like this. I mean, I have a responsibility in my family, and I can't be. And I imagine him saying, I know. I know you'd never treat your animals like that. I know you don't. But you see that man over there? And that woman over there? They came here today to be reconciled with God. They are both Israelites. That's your brother, that's your sister. They're not animals. Don't you think we should treat them better than we treat our livestock? So there's the challenge for me. And for us, I mean, that just wouldn't be right, would it? Let someone come to be reconciled with God and then we treat them like they don't belong? So there's our challenge. But these readings are so beautiful. Even though the one doesn't make sense. I mean, even this, as the deacon points to the crucifix on the back wall, even this doesn't make sense. How great is God's love for us? Wow. But how beautiful for us to be seeing God's love in these stories today. It even encourages me for those prayers that I have for those that I know who are away from the faith, and I know you have the same prayers as I do. To know that God loves them more than I do. That he's seeking after them, hunting them down. That's an encouragement to me. But these are personal stories for Jesus, and it would be good if they were personal for us. So this is like one of those questions that's just too important to ignore. Is it personal for me? Is it personal for you? Is God a personal God for us, or is he like abstract, distant, uninvolved? Okay, so it's personal for God. Is there a way that maybe we can make this personal for us? Make sure it's personal for us. Well, it's about relationship, isn't it? And when we have relationship with others, don't we like write them? I mean, in the smallest form of relationship and conversation, don't we like write them letters, send them cards, birthday, get well, I'm thinking of you? We can do that with God. Look, see? Letters for you, you've got mail. And we can read his letters, take them personally, and then tell him what he thinks. And we call people that we know and love and have a relationship with. We can talk to God in our personal prayer. Tell him little things, big things, everything. But make it personal. And we have, hopefully, God willing, God blessing us, we have more than one friend. We gather as friends to increase our relationship and keep it going. And here we are, among people of like mind and like heart, having a relationship with God and encouraging each other in that relationship. But if you have a good friend, there's going to come times when you want to go and be with them and sit down knee to knee, eye to eye, face to face, and have some intimate time. Well, as the deacon gestures to the tabernacle, he knew we needed this with him too, a physical presence. And here he is. Same Jesus, looks a little different than he did 2,000 years ago, but this is the same Jesus. He's here physically, waiting for us. So as we celebrate this 10-year anniversary of our Adoration Chapel, what better way for us to increase and make personal our relationship with God than spending time with him? Personally, physically, knee to knee, eye to eye, face to face. It's personal for God. Let's see if we can't find a way to make it more personal for us as well.